Welcome to another Petersburg By Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening and welcome to the SPbN By Night Twitch channel where we play Petersburg By Night, a massive multiplayer 5th edition World of Darkness Chronicle set in St. Petersburg, Florida, including Vampire the Masquerade, including Hunter the Reckoning, and including Werewolf the Apocalypse. My name is Kent, also known as Misha Kent on all social media, and I am the lead storyteller of SPbN By Night and the storyteller of Rage Across Tampa, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle that you are tuning into here tonight. I'm very, very excited to have the opportunity to work with these incredible players and for this to be our 25th episode, which is an incredible achievement that I couldn't do alone. I'd need a pretty incredible group of players to make that happen, and lucky enough, I have those incredible players. So let's take a moment to introduce those amazing players. Players, why don't you say hi and introduce yourselves?
Hey everybody, my name's Preston. I play Aiden Goodspeed, the Arun of the Gale Stalkers.
Hi everybody, I'm Champ, Champagne, Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, whatever you want to call me, and I will be playing Aspen Wise, Philodox of the Silver Fangs.
Hi everybody, I am Nori, and I'll be playing Malicious Jester, the Galliard of the Black Furies.
Hey everyone, I'm Simon. I'll be playing Joseph Ashspeaker, the Theurge from the Ghost Council.
Last week, the final preparations were being made for the Rite of Caern Building, the rite that will establish the first cairn in Tampa seen in over a decade. The emergence of a home of Guru, a place for them to gather, to plan, to share resources, and to further the war against the worm, the war against the forces that would see the end of Gaia. Unfortunately, there's still one large step to be taken for that ritual to take place. After checking on the last remaining pieces, making sure that they were put in their proper places, that the energies could flow freely through the cairn, Eliza informed Joseph and the rest of the pack what the rite entailed, and the fact that it would be a very dangerous task to take part in. That they would need 13 Guru, one to represent each moon of the year, in order to build the cairn effectively. As there are only 6 Guru currently in the city of Tampa, this pack's going to need some help. And truthfully, 13 is the bare minimum, because the Rite of Caern Building calls upon the forces of the worm. It sends out a signal into the Umbra that brings their attention to the site of the Cairn Building, and they will do anything in their power to stop it, to make sure that it doesn't happen. Because the worm is relentless. It destroys, it decays, it erodes away at the forces of Gaia, and it will not see another cairn brought to life, especially not in a city that it's been claiming for the past 10 years. Upon recommendation from Eliza, the Guru were instructed to reach out to any and all allies that they have amongst the nation, any that would come to assist in this endeavor. If they could be convinced to take the risk and to bring friends of their own, it is very possible that this cairn could be built, but it's going to take a great deal of convincing, because there have been rites of cairn building in the past that have failed, and that none have survived in the failure of its building. So the pressure is on, and this is the last step to take to call the Guru from all over the country to assemble in Tampa and to see the cairn built. Our story tonight begins with Aiden. Now, Aiden, you've spoken to Duncan several times over the past. You've asked for his help, you've asked for his advice, you've asked for his assistance, but never before have you had to ask for something as demanding and as risky as this. So what are you thinking as you're bringing up his contact on your cell phone, a device that you still find to be troublesome, even though you've learned finally what FaceTime is and how to use it? What's going through your mind as you prepare to call your mentor from all the way back out in Washington?
One of his constant ongoing things is feeling like a burden to others. That's why he's always wanting to do things himself. He doesn't like putting others in danger, and at this moment, he has to put someone that he holds in very high esteem. He has to ask him to put himself and possibly others in danger. So he's a little reluctant to be making this phone call at all, but he knows that this cairn needs to be built.
As you dial in the contact and begin the call, a screen pops up showing your own face as it rings a few times, which is a little bit startling. It's like holding up an electronic mirror, and while mirrors aren't foreign to you, this is a little bit jarring, as you seem to be holding your own self in your hand at the moment. But after a few rings, it picks up, and you're looking into the face for the first time in a while of your mentor, Duncan. Now, Duncan is a man in his very late 30s, potentially early 40s, with long, flowing red hair that falls to his shoulders and a fairly neatly trimmed red beard. His features are soft and have a youth to them, but they also have eyes of experience, eyes that have seen many things, done many things, but still have a twinkle of joy, a spark of life from deep within. As he picks up the phone, you can see that he is walking through the woods, seemingly out for a nice brisk walk, the pine trees all around growing from the earth and reaching up into the sky. And for a moment, you're homesick, because you haven't been around trees like this. You haven't been in these woods in quite some time, and there's a slight pang of longing in your heart. But as Duncan sees you, a large smile breaks across his face, and you can see a few more new wrinkles on the edge of his features than from the last time you saw him. Aiden,
Hey,
look at you. FaceTime, really?
It's a new thing. Jester was showing me how to use it. Apparently, it's an easier way to talk, and because on the phone you can't get the whole face stuff. So, and I miss seeing you. So, you know, this.
Well, the feeling's mutual. It's good to see you, bud. How are
Yeah.
things?
Things things are going. Um, a little bumps here and there, but we're getting it figured out. How are things up there?
Well enough. Same old, same old. Hey, I haven't really gotten to talk to you in great depth about this, but how are you doing after everything in Oregon?
uh, Better. It was difficult at first. Stone didn't make it. Uh, Mom got her leg pretty busted up, but everyone's out. Everyone's safe from what I keep hearing. So
Well, I checked in on your mom, and I'm happy to say she's made a full recovery. She'll be
oh,
all right.
good.
She's gonna have a limp, probably forever, but we were able to save her leg, and she's back out. She's out of the hospital now and moving about. So
Good. Yeah, she she saved me. I lost my footing, and Stone became a femori. So uh had to take care of that. And I've never had to face something like that before.
his expression tells the story as you look upon his features when he hears the word Fomori, and for a slight moment you can see a curl in the corner of his lip as if it's about to break out into a snarl at the very mention of the name, but he manages to subdue it for the most part. I want you to know something important. That wasn't Stone anymore. He was dead. What you fought was simply inhabiting his body. And I'm sorry you had to see that. But that's how they do it. That's what they do.
Yeah, few nightmares here and there. They're not happening anymore though. But that was one of the more difficult uh fights. If I didn't, not so much the physical aspect, that my mind was telling me not to hit as hard because it was him, but it wasn't.
You did the right thing. And I'd love to tell you that's going to be the only time you're ever going to be put in a situation like that, but I'd be lying, and I don't like to lie to you.
Yeah.
That's how Banes work. They break us down, tear us apart, and they make use of whatever remains.
Speaking of Banes, fought one of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the big fiery thing had to go into the Umbra, and well, first fought a bunch of bugs. That was interesting. But then like this, I don't know, Jello thing was there, and I tried, the wind thing you showed me. Tried that. Thing was faster than I thought. I thought it just kind of like jiggle. No.
No, from the sounds of it, what you're describing is known as a firmling. They're a type of bane that primarily targets weak-minded creatures, simple creatures, those that don't have advanced thoughts, those that are a little easier to take over, but they are quick and they are very, very dangerous. And so the fact that you made it out the other side is a testament to how much you've grown.
Yeah, a lot's changed. How's the tribe, the pack and your pack up there doing?
It's good. Things have been ramping up. with it getting into summer, it's gotten a little bit busier. You know, people working outside, using all kinds of chemicals. It's a lot of work, but we're doing what we can, and thankfully things have been pretty quiet recently. But we're expecting them to pick up again soon.
Yeah. Oh, I have an issue that kind of. Have you heard of the cult of uh Fenris?
Fenris.
Yeah, I got that problem down here.
What kind of problems don't you have? Banes, leeches, and now the cult of Fenris?
Yeah,
It's almost like the world's trying to kill you.
it's trying. It hadn't succeeded yet.
What can I tell you about Fenris? Well, once upon a time, they were like the rest of us, looking to fight for Gaia. In a lot of ways, they still are. They just broke from the methodology of the nation. They don't follow the same rules. In fact, they don't really follow any rules. Their rules are by any means necessary. Do what has to be done. Get it done. And don't let anything stop you, whether it's leeches, banes, or humans, even. They believe in a purge of sorts. The best way to let Gaia breathe freely is to get rid of anything that Gaia doesn't sponsor, doesn't believe in. And they will fight with everything they have. They are brainwashed, completely given over. You remember when I talked about that there were certain groups like the Stargazers who moved away?
Right.
Most of them are pretty much harmless, a little bit tricksy at times, but Fenris, they are not going to try to trick you. They might try to recruit you, but they're not going to try to trick you. You're either with them or against them, and they will destroy you if you aren't with them. I can't say I'm surprised. Florida has been no man's land, and it's ripe for the picking for anybody who wants to go down there and try something. I mean, the leeches have had plenty of time to continue to build. Banes have been running rampant. The worm has had its hooks in that place for so long, and it's a great opportunity for the Fenris to try and make a move and establish something, because who's there to stop them?
Just us if we get in their way.
How many of you are there?
6.
And how many of them?
I know of 4, maybe 5, altogether. The last when I was kin seeking, that's how I found them. Is that they had a few of them that were close to turning. So
So that's coming along.
yeah, my Terrence, he had his first change. Had him here for about a week and then sent him off because this place is not set up for a pup.
Well, from the sounds of it, you're right about that. It's
Yeah,
tough, though.
yeah, I'd love to have him here, and we had a lot of good conversations, but I I can't fight when trying to keep him safe. I got enough of that going on. Being the last Maroon here, I makes it a little difficult as far as being that front line, because the line's pretty big.
There's a lot he's going to have to learn, and best place to learn that is a proper sept. Not
Yeah.
to say you couldn't teach him and that you wouldn't protect him, but you've got your hands full, kid, and he is going to need a proper education. He's going to need time to be in a place that's safe to truly understand what he is. Not to mention, the spirits are going to pick him. He's going to pick them. And it's good that he's in a place that he can do that without having to constantly look over his shoulder. So I know it's a hard decision, but it's the right decision. And he won't forget you. Without any doubt, he'll be ringing your phone every few months asking you for advice or help.
Yeah, then I'll just call you and be like, hey, so he has this question.
Oh yeah, ask Aspen about three-way calling. You're gonna love that.
That's a thing?
Oh yeah. See just our two faces right now. You could have many, many more on that screen. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, that sounds too much. No. No. I think that this is good. This is fine.
Yeah.
What are you doing in about 2-3 weeks? Or less? Maybe in the next few days even.
Next few days.
Just a question. Possibly followed up by other things.
Well, I'd love to say the usual, but you don't ask that kind of question without a follow-up question.
Yeah. We're gonna attempt the to build the cairn. But we need 13. And we need each phase of the moon. We're a little short. And need people to be able to protect while that's happening as well.
And you have 6.
So I need at least 7 more to actually do the thing. But from what I've been told is that that's basically like a giant dinner bell that everything's gonna try to get to there.
Yeah, on both sides.
Yeah. And like I said, the line's really big. So Jester and I, we decided that we were going to try and defend, but that still drops down the overall phases for people actually doing the Cairn building aspect. I don't like asking for help like this, but I don't know where else to really turn to get people that I trust I know can handle themselves in something like this. I know that the sept up there that you have is really, really strong and could handle a fight like that.
You could, but you're asking me to leave this place weakened.
Right.
Not to mention, I'd have to ask others to take the chance that they might not be coming back.
But wouldn't it, as far as a tactical point, to have a cairn itself reestablished in Tampa? Because it was abandoned, but I don't. Maybe you can explain. I don't understand the whole abandoning something that Gaia told us to do. And that against everything that you've taught me that I've been taught is to stay the course.
I haven't heard a lot about Florida. I mean, that's the other side of the country. That's quite some distance, but the stories I have heard, if you can't keep something, do you stay and die to protect it, knowing that it's going to be lost anyway? Or do you live to fight another day? Now, I taught you, and I believe that, yeah, you fight until the last man. You do whatever it takes. But there are others who don't believe that. There are others who think that living to fight another day is the best way to go, and who am I to say they're wrong? You talk to some silent striders, you get your fair share of ragabashes, they're going to tell you that, yeah, keep fighting. As long as the fight keeps going, it doesn't matter where it is, as long as there's somebody to fight it. But then at the same time, you give more ground, you're just giving your enemy more space to grow, more space to recruit, build reinforcements, and eventually you're going to find yourself trapped in a corner with your back against a wall and an entire world of enemies at your front. It must have been a very difficult decision, without doubt. And I'd have to think that if they chose to abandon that place, they had a fairly good reason to do so. Building the cairn is tough. There's no doubt about that. I've seen my fair share go well, but I've seen a few go badly. And the truth of the matter is, yeah, you can build it, but are you going to be able to keep it? Are you going to be able to protect it? Or are you going to find yourselves in a position in a few weeks needing to abandon it as well? Because, yeah, the building is like a dinner bell, like you said. But the cairn being open is like a pie on a windowsill. It's not as attention grabbing, but it is attention grabbing. And once it's built, these things are going to know. And they're going to keep coming for it. Maybe not as strong as at first, but they will be pushing the borders. They will be pushing the protections. And they will be testing you.
But once it's built, the reason no one's coming now is because they think it's abandoned, that there's no reason to come here. But Gaia is bleeding here. I've literally seen it on the other side.
Yeah.
There's no other place I can really think of that needs it more than here. And we're all about our renown, but there seems to be no honor in abandoning a place that needs help.
No, there isn't. But the nation's not what it once was, kid. It's not as strong and unified. That fight that you're having is happening everywhere. There are plenty of cities, plenty of other territories going through exactly what you're going through, if not worse. It's hard to get the support you're looking for because everybody's struggling. We're lucky that we've stood as long as we have, but a good reason of that is because of winter, because of the changing of the seasons. You're in a place where the elements aren't really something to contend with most of the time. So it's a never-ending struggle there. I wish you were asking me this in December.
Yeah, I don't think we can wait that long.
You can't.
I'm not asking for like the whole sept from up there to come down. I'm not even asking for 30 people, just a small handful. Knowing that I have you and even some of the other Gale Stalkers, that would be a huge help. If you can get some of the other people up there, some other Aruns, that'd be even better.
Who else do you have coming down?
We're all asking different people, trying to get figured out. As of right now, we got the pack that's here.
That's a big ask, bud.
I know.
Aiden, go ahead and make a charisma and persuasion check. Duncan considers for several moments. You can see that he's stopped walking as the background stops shifting so much, and he seems to be stood at the bank of a river. You can hear the water rushing in the background. I can't guarantee you a lot of numbers, but I also won't let you down. I'll be there. I'll see who I can bring with me.
Thank you. I'll owe you a big one. And not just a burger this time, I'll actually pay you back.
You've already paid me back more times than you can count. I want to see you succeed, Aiden, and if this is important to you, if this is what you truly believe in, and you think it's worth it, I have no reason to question your judgment.
I do. This is where my fight is needed, is here. This is where she put me.
And I'll be there. Talk to your theurge about moon bridges. We're going to see if that's something we can start. I'll see if I can bring one of the path stones from up here, just in case things go bad. You'll have a nice getaway point. But
That'd be smart.
I'll be there.
I'll talk to him.
We'll head
Thank
out
you.
in the morning.
And then while you're here, I'll show you around before we actually do stuff. Nice, pretty picture before things happen.
It's about to be summer there, kid. I am not looking forward to it in the slightest.
It sucks. I will let you know that it is hot and humid.
Do you even feel the wind down there?
Yeah, when I kill something. That's about the extent of the wind I get.
That's really all that's going to be interesting to it, I would imagine. All right. We'll head out in the morning. I'll see who I can get with me. Like I said, I can't promise you a lot, but I'm not going to leave you empty, and I'm not going to leave you stranded.
Thank you, it means a lot.
Prepare yourself. If you're going to be doing the fighting, if you're going to be doing the defending, you're going to have the most important job. Yeah, the theurges and the spiritualists are going to be doing all the heavy lifting Umbra side. But you're going to have a fight on your hands. Probably stronger than any fight you've had before.
I look forward to it.
We'll see.
All right, well, I'll see you in a few days then. Thank you.
I'll see you then. Be safe.
Yeah, you too.
With that, we transition to another request, another phone call made to a similar part of the country. Jester, you put in a call to Colorado, to your former sept, the home of your mentors. What are you thinking as you're prepping to make a call to Ravenclaw and Gibbous?
Kind of torn on this. I know it's really important, but I also know how dangerous this is, and a lot of things I've cared about have already been put in danger. But we really do need it so that more will come.
As you make the call, it rings a few times before it picks up. Jester? What the Why haven't you changed your number?
I have a friend.
Better be a good fucking friend. I saw your face on the news. What the fuck is going on down there?
Vampires. That was vampires.
Vampires. In the background you hear, is that Jester? Gibbous wants to talk to you.
Okay.
Hear the phone get passed off. Jess! Hi!
Hey, Gibbs.
How are you? Are you okay?
For the most part, yeah.
I had to kick Claw's ass because she didn't tell me that you were on the phone last time.
I'm sorry about that.
So what's
Have you?
up? How are things? Everything's good?
It has its ups and downs. Really, a lot. There's a lot going on.
What do you mean by a lot?
Well, so apparently, oh, not apparently. We're kind of in an active war against vampires that pretty much run the city.
You hear Ravenclaw in the background go, "Tell me something else I don't know."
Yeah, we've been trying to build a cairn here so that we can get more Garu to come. It's actually what we've been working on for a long time.
You're building a cairn? Oh my god, that's so exciting! Oh, Jess, it is the coolest thing. Like watching all of the forces come together and the place feels so inhabited and full after it's done. I mean, it's like an all-night party just setting up this thing. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of chanting and everything, but afterwards, once it's built, oh, you're gonna feel so amazing.
Yeah. We're actually going to build it next week.
Oh, next week? Really?
Yeah, but we got a small problem.
What's the problem?
There's not enough of us. Apparently, we need, I believe, our Fayard has said that we need 13, and there are only 6 of us. Plus anyone to defend it.
Oh, that's only half.
Yeah.
But do you need help?
I kind of do, but I don't want... It's really dangerous here, and from what I've heard, when the cairn's being built, the whole area is going to be dangerous. Because we're going to need people to defend it, because apparently all the Banes and other nasties are going to be attracted to come and attack and try to stop it.
Well, we could help.
I would really appreciate that, honestly, and if you could pass the word along to anybody down at the Sept looking to maybe make a name for themselves, this might work. Like I said, it's pretty dangerous here, though.
Oh yeah, we could totally. And then you hear the receiver get covered and some muffled voices talking back and forth in the background. It's hard to make out the words, but you can hear a little bit of a tense argument, or as well as some whining happening on the other side of the receiver before the phone gets uncovered. Jess.
Hey, Raven.
You got Gibbous all stirred up now. She's just packing her bags with her eyes. I can see it right now. This is really dangerous.
I know. I was really trying to impress that upon her.
You know her. She runs in head first.
Yeah, but it's not like this place doesn't need the help.
You're asking people to die, Jess. I know Gibby would do anything for you. You know I would too, but
I know.
even if we get a few people down there, it might still not be enough.
I know. Everyone in my pack is asking who they can, but
Tell me about
it is dangerous.
where the cairn's going to be. Tell me about the defenses. Tell me about what we're looking at. She might jump in blind, but I'm not a moron. And you hear slap on the shoulder.
So it's in a memorial park. It is. I'll go over what I know. We've our pack leader. She's a paralegal, and she managed to get it put in privately in a company that we own. So legally, it's ours. And remember Chloe?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chloe's a Ghislaine.
No shit.
Yeah, we've kind of put her in managing it. But as far as specs go, it's like pretty big. There is one spirit that watches over it. Her name is Grandmother Willow. She is a very, very large tree.
Yeah,
Very
but she's gonna be
intimidating.
busy.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. You hear a desk chair, wheels scraping across the floor, then keys typing. Okay. It's a cemetery. A lot of open space there, which is good and bad at the same time. Not a lot
Yeah.
to hide behind. But we can see things coming. Pretty deeply settled within the city there. Not a lot of good escape routes. But it's an all-night thing, so there shouldn't be a lot of people nearby. What's your plan? What are we working with? Who have you got down there? What can they do?
So, of my pack, we've got myself, and we've got Aiden. He's an Arun. We've got Aspen. She's a Philodox. She's our leader. We have Joseph. He is our Theurge. Artie is our Ragabash. He's a Glasswalker.
Okay.
We also have one of the Garu that was here, or that's been here for the past 10 years. There's a story behind that, but we managed to pull her from Hirano. Her name's Eliza. She's a Theurge.
You're leaving a part out.
We found Gaius here in the Umbra, and we brought it back to her.
All right. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But what is she?
She's a Stargazer.
Fuck. Okay. That's interesting. She's been helping you.
Yeah. She's been really good.
It's news to me.
She was actually helping the old pack that was here before everything went to hell.
She's the only one left standing. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence there, Jess.
There used to be another one, but he died recently. But the city needs us. Gaia needs us here. It was so bad I saw her blood when I was in the Umbra.
You'll see a lot of that, no matter where you are. That's not a you problem. That's a everyone problem, but I get what you're saying. Well, it's been a while since I've had a good scrap. On the other side, you hear, please, 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 can we go? Please, please, please. It'll just be one vacation. Quick, easy in, easy out. You'll get to kill some things, Raven. You haven't gotten to kill anything in a while.
Please tell her it's not a vacation.
What do you think I've been telling her? Go ahead and make a charisma and persuasion check.
4 successes.
On the other side, please, please, please. It sounds like it'll be great, and she really needs our help. Okay, alright. Yeah, fucking Florida, really?
I could take you to the beach. Maybe.
Alright.
Maybe not a public beach.
Okay. We'll show up. And if we make it through this, we're gonna need a whole hell of a lot of people. We'll put out the word. We'll see who we can get. Right now, you got Gibby for sure. And I'm there.
Thank you.
We're gonna need something in return, though.
What is it?
We'll have to figure out what that is once it's all said and done. But we might need some help up here at some point. And if you build up enough people down there, we might have to ask for some of them briefly. But
I
we'll
will
talk
owe
about
you.
that with your sept leader once all said and done.
I think you'll like her.
Never met a silver fang I like. But I will tolerate her because you do. Alright, Jess. If you think it's worth it,
I do.
'cause we could always just use you back up here. Establish Cairn.
Yeah, I know,
Thriving
but
Sept.
that's not where Gaia needs us. Not in the thriving places.
Sometimes I don't think Gaia knows what it needs.
Do sick people do they usually know what they need?
No, but I also know out of desperation we'll do almost anything. Risk almost anything. Sacrifice almost anything. And I'm not one to be made a sacrifice of.
I know.
But I got you. And in the background here, yay! And then feet running off and clanging of metal pieces falling over.
She hasn't changed.
Not at all. And I just got her distracted with something else. This is going to be great.
I really owe you.
Yeah, you do. But we'll talk about that later. You just stay safe and focus, and we'll be there in a couple days.
See you soon.
See you soon, Jess. The phone hangs up. Another phone call. Another desperate opportunity to garner aid. But this time with a little bit more sophistication as we go to the would-be sept leader. Aspen, how long has it been since you've seen Matthias Morningkill, your mentor?
Over a year.
And what were your impressions of him the last time you saw him? What are your feelings towards him in general?
So Matthias is a strong leader. He's very no nonsense. He speaks with intent with every word that he says. But he has a softness to him where you want to listen to him. It's not just mundane talking at. It's a conversation, and it's somebody you can pontificate with for a long time and share ideas. And he's not somebody to just shoot you down because your idea is different than his. He's very open.
And what is Aspen feeling as she prepares to make this phone call? What's going through her mind?
So there's a bit of nervousness because she hasn't talked to him in a long time, mixed with excited because he was somebody really important to her that helped teach her guru life. But she's also excited because she hasn't been working for a while. So the fact that she gets to make a negotiative phone call is actually really exciting. So she's really happy about it because she hasn't been able to do that in quite a few weeks.
As you make the phone call, it rings a few times before it picks up and a young woman's voice answers the phone. Morning Kill Industries. How can I help you?
Hello, this is Aspen Weiss. I'm looking for Matthias Morningkill.
Hold for Matthias.
Thank you.
Beep. And after a few moments, the phone picks up again. Matthias Morningkill.
Hi, Matthias. It's Aspen.
Miss Weiss. Long time no speak.
Yes, sir.
How's business?
Insane. Not great.
Well, that's not reassuring.
Well, you know how it goes. There's always something, right? Looming over.
And what's looming so much that you felt the need to call me?
Oh, well, we could get straight to the point if you'd like. You'd like to walk right over pleasantries.
We'll save the pleasantries for after.
Perfect. This is why I like you. I'm calling to ask for a favor. So, we here in Tampa have a small pack, and we are trying to reestablish a cairn within Tampa. And that'll be happening within the next week. But we don't have the numbers, and that's what I need you for.
Numbers.
Yes, sir.
Lucky for you, numbers are my specialty. How many are we talking about?
Well, the rite itself, as I'm sure you're aware, needs 13. We have 6, but that doesn't include what we need for protection and any other mundane happenings within the ritual itself.
And this cairn, who's it going to belong to?
Well, if all goes well, it'll be my pack's.
Allow me to be a little more clear. Who's in charge of this cairn?
I did say my pack, so that would be me.
Interesting. You're really making a name for yourself. I knew I saw something in you. For one so resistant to everything, seems like you're finding your stride.
Well, I had a good teacher, and I thought you said be a leader, so here I am.
And the pup, are they still with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Have they been keeping you safe?
Yes, in exchange for small annoyances.
The others are often like that. Well, this is a transaction that you're asking for, and I'm not one who gives out of the goodness of my heart without thinking that there's something I'm going to benefit from it.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
So let's open negotiations, shall we? What are you offering?
Well, that just depends. I haven't talked to you in over a year. Mr. Morningkill. What do you desire?
Florida, Tampa. Can't say I've been down that way in quite some time, not since the last sept. An interesting place it was. Shadow Lords.
I did not know that.
Yes, I had many dealings with the former sept leader, Joseph. Seems he got in a little over his head, though. Well, what I can tell you is the nation has been divided for quite some time. Everyone's been focused on their own business interests, their own situations. That has made trade difficult. That has made assistance difficult. We need to reassert an understanding between all of the various septs. We need to regain some kind of control. I already like what you're offering with you being sept leader. Having the sept be represented by our tribe, led by our tribe, gives me some hope. I'd like to open a branch of my company down there, and I'd like your support in doing so. In exchange, I'll send some people to help you, and I'll oversee the proceeding. And if I like what I see, and everything goes according to plan, perhaps we can have some long-term business.
Absolutely. I am at your disposal. What would you have me do to prepare?
How's the legal profession going?
I've got about a semester before I'm completely done, and you will be looking at a full-fledged lawyer.
That's what I like to hear. Congratulations, Miss Weiss. I know you've been working on it for quite some time. I'm interested in acquiring some property. Property management. Making sure that certain initiatives are enacted. If we can take away some of the property the leeches own and repurpose it, it could be beneficial to all of us. I will pick some targets for you and your companions after the cairn is built. If you see these specific properties repurposed and ownership transferred, I'll consider that proper payment.
Perfect. One condition. We start with Hart and Associates.
What happened to Hart and Associates?
Well, as somebody who knows about the old cairn here, I'm sure you know that the leeches have their heels dug quite far in the dirt here. We got a little too close to them, and they made a statement, that being Mrs. Hart's life and her company.
I'm sorry, Aspen. I know she
It's all
was
right.
important to you. Done. I won't only help you get Hart and Associates. I will help you get the ones who claimed it.
Thank you, Matthias.
You're going to be in for a fight. Reestablishing the nation in Florida is going to draw a lot of attention, possibly even from those who abandoned it, who think they have a claim to it. You must show yourself a strong leader. And you must uphold the litany by all means. If we are going to rebuild the shattered remnants of the nation and re-establish the nation proper, we need order.
I couldn't agree more. And that's why I called you, because I knew you wouldn't say no. Because you can't break the litany. And the worm dwells here. So you would be remiss if you didn't come here and take it head on.
It dwells there for now.
Yes, sir.
I'll book a flight. I may have some associates that can assist you. They're not like us, but they are Ghislaine, and they work for me.
Perfect. Whatever you can offer, I am more than grateful.
And when is this rite taking place?
In a week's time.
Do you have the backing in terms of resources that you'll need?
We have our theurge who's getting most of that done. We actually have another theurge from the old cairn, Eliza Ross. She's here making sure everything is set and on the up and up for when we do the ritual.
A theurge from the old cairn.
Yes, sir.
Be
The
careful with
Stargazer.
that one. Be extra careful with that one. They left the nation. Their way of doing things. It's unusual.
I understand, but in the precarious situation we're in, we need all of the resources we can get.
Go ahead and make a charisma and persuasion check. He's already agreed to help, but how much he's willing to help will be based off of this check.
Can I use my favor over the phone?
Sure.
It does not specify.
Why
Okay.
not? Yeah.
Another question. Could I use my gift, my ancestral conviction, over the phone? Because it is specifically for other guru.
High or low?
Hi.
Yes, you can.
Perfect. Okay, give me a second. That would be 7.
Yes, I think we can do business, and I think I have just what you need. Your borders will be secure, without question. All of them. As for the spiritual side of things, you'll need to look elsewhere for that. but I will make sure that you are equipped for whatever comes your way.
Thank you very much. And I am very much looking forward to doing business closely with you moving forward.
As am I. Now that business is concluded, how are you, Aspen?
All things considered, I'm doing all right.
This is quite a task you're taking on.
It is a big task, and we move through feeling confident and feeling very much out of my league. So we're in feeling confident right now. We'll see how the next week goes.
You know what to do. You need to trust yourself. This may seem like a mammoth task you're taking on, and it for sure is. But you have that fire in you, Aspen. I knew it from the day I met you. You are a leader. It's what drew me to you. Be confident. Don't show weakness. Weakness is what banes, leeches, everything we fight. The very worm itself feeds on.
I understand that, and I'll be more confident when we can get some of these leeches out of here and deal with a cult of Fenris problem we have.
I will assist however I can. This means something to you, I can tell. I can tell from the conviction in your voice and the fact that you'd call me asking for a favor.
I love negotiating, you know that.
Yes, but this wasn't negotiating for fun. This was negotiating for your very life, now wasn't it?
That easy to tell. Yeah.
You made a convincing argument otherwise. I will come down myself to help oversee the proceedings. I will assist in your ritual. I will have my men to help secure your borders. And we'll make sure that you are established as the true Sept leader. Because that's what the nation needs right now.
Wonderful. And that's more than I could ever ask for. And I owe you everything.
You'll pay me back.
I keep my word. Honor is our thing, right?
It is. Very good. Miss Weiss, a pleasure as always. I have travel arrangements to make, it seems. Last minute
Yes, sir.
business trip.
Maybe a little bit of a vacation, business and pleasure, but
We'll handle the business first. We'll see what pleasure there is to have after.
perfect.
Good evening, Miss Weiss.
Have a great night.
With that, he hangs up. As opposed to our previous scenes, Joseph, you find yourself in a precarious position as the Sept you once called home isn't one for the technological means of communication. They prefer either the spirits or the old-fashioned in-person way of doing things. So you chose to make a trip back to rural West Virginia, back to Morgantown, and to the Sept that you first found yourself becoming aware of all things Guru, where your true first education took place. What is Joseph thinking as he's preparing to make this trip?
A big part of Joseph is excited to see home, to see the hills. There's that excitement. but there's also a decent amount of concern. His elder from back home is not the friendliest and not the most forthcoming. Not the kind to just jump up and offer aid at all times. Very much a sink or swim, figure things out kind of person. The child of Gaia he knew back there, he is very confident will want to come and help and probably try to convince some of her friends. But looking for the spiritual guidance from another ghost council or from the from his group might be a little trickier. So he's nervous. He's thinking of all of the lore, all of the secrets that this place has to hold, and how he can sell that to the rest of the Ghost Council and then the rest of the Cairn to try and convince him that this is a worthwhile place to reclaim and learn from.
As you arrive in West Virginia, how did you travel there? Did you take a plane? Did you drive?
Driving would probably be the easiest way to go, and the lowest profile. So hop in his car and road trip it up for a couple days.
So as you take your beaten up sedan out to the outskirts of Morgantown, you find the very well established cairn that you once called home. As you pass through the woods into the mountains, you see that not much has changed. It seems like a place out of time that has been frozen ever since you left, ever since you took your first steps out of that cairn, venturing southward, heading towards Florida. It looks like nothing has changed. You see the same sentries patrolling. You see the same structures, still maintained, still untouched, still established. As you pull down the gravel road, which eventually becomes dirt, full of potholes, looking like not a lot of vehicles pass this way. It's even started to become overgrown by weeds that are poking themselves out after a long and harsh winter. You eventually bring the vehicle to a halt, and out of a wooden cabin comes Trillium, who is a woman in her mid to late 30s, but she has also a very youthful face and a very light step as she walks with a long, battered old sundress that she seems to lovingly still wear. You can see signs of dirt stains, especially around the knees of the dress, as if she'd been doing some gardening lately. A light floral print on the dress itself. Looks like it's been hand stitched and repaired many times from various patches that you see, especially along the hems. She has long, flowing brown hair that just wistfully, playfully curls at the ends, and she wears a floral crown around her head as she gleefully almost skips, almost runs her way towards the vehicle. And as you emerge from the car, she leaps into your arms into a big hug. Joseph, you're home!
Yeah, for a while.
For a while. Have you eaten? You must have been traveling for quite some time.
I stopped at a Shoney's a little south, but that was a couple hours ago, so I could probably eat something.
That's not a real meal, Joseph. Come inside, I'll make you something. She takes your hand and starts leading you towards the wooden cabin. She leads you in. Almost everything in here, aside from a few basic amenities, are essentially handcrafted. She takes you to a wooden table that looks like it's been repurposed out of old fallen wood, maybe some driftwood as well. The branches gnarled coming out to create the legs that go down to the wooden floor. She pulls out a hand-carved wooden chair and has you sit down and moves over to a small stove setup, more like a camp stove, that has over time become a fully functioning kitchen for the most part. And she starts taking some hand-picked vegetables that look like they've been grown in a garden from out back. And the more this process continues, the more and more it just feels like no time has passed at all. You've had countless meals like this during your stay here, and it just feels like home. As she's cooking, she looks over. So what brings you all the way up here? Tell me all about Florida, Joseph.
Florida's a lot. There's a lot of cement. There's a lot of pavement, but it has some spots of green.
Along
It's
the
not.
beaches specifically, it's gotta be just full on Weaver territory.
Yeah, it is very thick. Um, there's spiders everywhere. But some of the green spaces are okay, but Tampa is wounded deeply, so it's not safe on the other side at all. There, we've made a few trips, but yeah, it needs a lot of help. It's been lost for a decade. I've learned since I've gone down, and we're working to bring it back to give us a space there again. That's why I'm here. I'm looking for some help. We need more participants in the right to open the Cairn back up.
Well, participants, of course. You know I'm more than willing to help as much as possible, and you've been learning the rite, yes?
Yes, I found an elder theurge who has been there for the whole time. She's been waiting for something, and she's been helping me learn a great deal about the rites and other gifts and more. Uh, she's a wealth of knowledge. So I've learned the rite. I think we're ready. It's just we need the full 13. There are 6 of us total right now. One of our numbers is a kinseeker, like you. He's found one already, but we sent him north to an established cairn to learn properly. And this is too dangerous for a new pup. But it was nice to see some kin seeking again. I got to be there for the first change, and it felt like the old times for a minute.
I do miss our old outings. It's not the same without having you nipping at my heels, following behind.
Yeah, I miss going for a run and slipping over along the way. I'm hoping to see that again down there. We'll see.
So you have 6. With me, you can count me, that's 7.
The rest of the pack is going to everyone they know and asking as well. I would
To have some
expect
success.
I would definitely expect success from Aspen. She's our pack leader. She's a Silver Fang, and I know she's a suit, but I'll follow her.
They have
She's
their
only a suit on.
place. The Weaver
Yeah.
and the Worm must work in harmony.
Yeah.
I hold no ill will towards the Silver Fangs. They help provide structure, stability, and they allow those of us who are more akin to the wild to do what we must to make it beautiful and bring life to its structure.
She does that well. And she speaks with potency, so I'm sure she'll be bringing numbers. Our Galliard Jester has such tight relationships with those from her past. I have no doubt that she will be bringing friends. Our Arun, our Kinseeker, Aiden, will be bringing, I'm sure, friends from the north. He speaks so proudly of them that I know they'll assist. I know we'll get numbers from everyone, but I feel like if we assume everyone else has it covered, we will be missing something. Plus, you know how dangerous the right can be. We need numbers to support us, even those that aren't in the ritual. So as many as I can get. I'm going to go to Mountain's Claw and ask him for help as well.
I was
That'll
going to
be
say, he's the next hurdle for you. You have my
Yeah.
support, and he has never been one to keep me from where my heart lies, but I cannot speak for the others. I can really only speak for myself. That place is wild, it's untamed. Some of
It
it is
is.
rotten to its core.
It's had a lot of time to grow without tending, but I don't know that we've ever seen a place like this, and I'm hoping the secrets that can be built in a decade might convince him to send some down.
I'm not going to deceive you, Joseph. We've been having some hard times ourselves. The Weaver has continued to expand here. The wild places are becoming fewer and fewer and decreasing. He has been very stubborn about defending this place, trying to make sure that we don't fall to the same mistakes of others. But there's only
Yeah.
so much he can do, stubborn as he may be.
I'm sure fighting to keep the pipelines out and to keep that corruption at bay is difficult. But I think this is worthwhile. I think this place could use a little of what we got.
We should make sure you're ready to face him, which means a full belly and a calm mind and heart. She walks over with some dishes made of blown glass and sets them in front of you, and you see that there are steamed vegetables, there are potatoes that are boiled, and some that are roasted. It looks to be a completely vegetarian meal that she's prepared for you and placed in front of you, but it is a bounty, a harvest, to say the very least. What about you, Joseph? This will be your first time being Rite Master for such a event. You've seen the tendings of cairns. I've shown you that much, but the buildings of one, that's quite an ordeal.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I've been basically spending the last month and a half focused on learning the rites and setting this thing up. Eliza and I have been very close in all of the preparations, getting me ready. So I think I got it. It's one of those things that has to be personalized. So spending this much time, it's like all that's left is to light the candles and do what needs to be done. I just hope that the process isn't too dangerous for all those around.
And the spirits down there, you've been making friends with them, being good to them, and they've been good to you?
For the most part, I was a little gung-ho when I first showed up and was trying to do a small exorcism. There's quite a bit of ghost activity down there, and I may have run afoul of the elder spirit that is going to be attached to our cairn, but we have mended that. A cairn is a memorial park in the middle of Tampa, and it is overseen by a willow spirit, Grandmother Willow. She can reach the entire park with her branches, and at first she was leery, considering a young, lonely Garu, running around doing exorcisms and jumping into the Umbra in a city like Tampa. But we've gotten where we need to be. She's ready. We've found a patron for our pack, a serpent of Luna, a star spirit who helped us in our first journey, helped guide us to a tier of Gaia. And because of her help, our pack has gone through the rite of patronage and has set that up so she will also be helping us with the sept as we move forward. So we have some spirit backing. We've cleared out some banes. We've done a lot of work ingratiating ourselves with that side. So I think we're going to be okay on that end.
I'm surprised you can even see the stars with what Weaver has constructed down there for you.
There are a few places. I think it also used to be a cairn where we found the star. So there's room for more growth. And actually, there's technically a small cairn not far from where we're building. I don't know exactly how it works because it seems small and weird, but it's set up by the cult. So we're kind of pressed to get this done before they get too much of a presence. So we're getting it from all sides.
She shakes her head slightly at the mentioning of the cult of Fenris, a sad look coming over her face. Those poor misguided individuals.
We lost a lot here. I know many of the numbers in the woods fell to that passion. We were hoping Aiden found a few before they turned. That's what outed the cult to us. So they had a few kin, and we were hoping to pull them away, save those young ones.
But your heart still carries a heaviness. I can see it.
Yeah, some of them have turned within the cult. They were fairly radicalized from before, from what my friends have said.
Many
So
are
I feel
angry.
like we missed it.
Many have reason to be angry, just reason.
Yeah.
But we can help them find peace. I truly believe that. We can help them find their way.
You can lead by example. Show them how it's done. Do the right steps, and maybe they'll see the right path.
You always have a home here, Joseph. No matter what happens, I know that you are following your purpose. You are answering the call. You are serving Gaia. And you are making me so proud. And I will do whatever I can to see your purpose fulfilled, as a mentor should, as a friend, a family member should.
You know, I never got to thank you enough. The rest of my pack carry such burdens from their first change. They all feel loss when they think back to that in some way. And because of you, I didn't get that. I felt so disconnected from them when we first got together because of that. You gave me a beautiful gift, and I know you've given it to so many others, and I've never got to properly thank you for that. So many of our kind don't get that. And because of that, Aiden and I gave our new pup the same thing. His change was a run. When it happened, there was a moment of fear, and then there was a howl of joy. And that only could have happened because of what you gave me. So I thank you.
Your continued existence, the way you live your life, is all the thanks I could ever wish for. And I know that many have suffered in their journey. Those that cannot see that what we lose, we never truly lose. It's hard for them. We all carry our own burdens. And with your guidance, with everything I've taught you, you can teach to them to help relieve them of those burdens. That is the role of the theurge. We do not just speak for the spirits, to the spirits. We speak to our own pack's spirits, the ones that still dwell within us, the ones that have not moved on. You have a difficult task, as you have been chosen by the spirit of the hereafter, but you have the job of the spirit of the here and now as well. But I couldn't think of one more capable. Having heard what you were taught even since you were young, I felt like you knew what it meant in some small part to be Guru before you even changed. And that understanding made that transition that much better, that much easier. You have an opportunity to lead by example, as you said, and make sure that the losses that your fellow pack members felt was not for nothing, that it was not in vain, that it was an opportunity to prevent others from suffering such losses, and to console those that do. Now don't let your food get cold. We have to go see the old man after this.
He'll definitely be quickly eating it. It's been a while since he had food like that.
It is filling. It is comfort food to the nth degree. It is enough to make one want to curl up in a sunbeam for a nap afterwards, but knowing the task that lies ahead, you make sure not to submit to that desire. And after
No hammock
you
time.
finish your meal, Trillium stands beside you, and as you get up out of the chair, she offers you another hug, and she whispers into your ear, "He wants to help you. I know he does. He's a good man. But he's trying to protect his own, and no one can fault him for that. I know you've dealt with him plenty in the past, but it's been a while. So make sure not to take anything he says too personally."
I remember that much. Thank you.
With that, you depart the cabin, and you make your way to the more remote location further out within the cairn, almost to the edge of the bawn itself, where you find a shack for all intents and purposes. This one less beautified, less maintained than the others. It seems to be function more than form. It suits a purpose. You could tell from the planks that seem to be nailed to the roof of the shack that are covering up most likely weathered holes that have formed over time. As you approach, you can hear the sound of wood being chopped out behind the shack. And as you make your way around the small, single resident building, you find Mountain's Claw. A man that is quite likely nearing his 60s at this point. He looks like he could still fight as if he was in his 20s, as he is solid muscle. He is stout, but he is sturdy. And his grizzled exterior, including several very visible scars across his chest, his face, his head, his back, shows that he has suffered his fair share of incursions. Some of the scars themselves look to be in the form of claw marks, but not like any Garou claw mark you've seen. It's most likely come from bears. And large bears at that. As he chops the wood, he is barefoot, wearing only some really loose burlap breeches that seem like they're itchy just to look at, let alone wear. But he seems completely undisturbed by them. He wears a worn leather belt around his waist that has several large teeth attached to the belt. Almost like ornamentation, but also like trophies. He chops the wood and, unlooking, addresses you before you even get close. Who that there then?
It's Ash Speaker. I've come home for a little while.
Ash Speaker. What you doing around here, boy? Thought you was living the beach life.
Not much time at the beach. Stuck in the middle of the city. I could use some help.
What kind of help you need there then?
We're setting the cairn back up, and we need numbers. Place has been dead for, well, on our end, it's been unprotected, uncalled, untended for a decade. And a handful of us answered the call, and we're working to rebuild a cairn. We could use some support.
He snorts slightly and raises a big meaty arm to wipe some sweat from his brow. I done told you it was a fool's errand heading down there. Plenty of good work to be done here.
Yeah, and there's plenty of good workers up here. Not many down there. He'll reach back, grab a 6-pack and set it in front of him. Pop one open, pop a second one open.
He looks over, and as he does, you can see one of the eyes is almost completely discolored, pale. He cracks a kind of grotesque looking smile as he sees the beer, wrinkles just completely covering, mixing with the scars across his face. But he gives one final chop of the axe, deeply embedding it into the log he was using as a stand. And he starts making his way over towards the table, shuffling more than walking. He grabs the beer and starts to drink it. As he finishes the entire beer, drinking it all down in one gulp before reaching for another one and popping it open. That place is a shadow. A lot of ghosts around there.
There are. There are leeches. It's damaged. It's hurt. We've been making strides, but there's so much left uncovered.
Maybe it belonged to the shadow now.
That can't be true. This is Gaia's world. This is Gaia. And long ago, you taught me it belonged to all three, but no one place can be just one thing. There's a lot of life. There's a lot of green. There are still spirits there. There are still young spirits there too. There's an elder willow that oversees the place we'll call a cairn. There's a young Lunan who is growing and has become our pack patron. There are spiders absolutely everywhere. And there's also Banes. But there are green places, there are sacred spaces. There's a couple spaces that were once and can still be cairns. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot hidden under all of that scar tissue, all of that pain.
He outright sneers at the mention of spiders. You know that he respects the Weaver and what the Weaver stands for, but he will never be a fan of the Weaver's presence and the inhabitants or the servants of the Weaver that make that presence possible.
It needs more wild.
A lot of them roots are rotten.
And it needs people strong enough to pull them. We've already found kin with just our pack. There are kin being called in that city, and we need to have people to find them, and we need to have a place to teach them. We have sent kin to a cairn a little north to learn, but they're there. There's going to be more. We've felt a few others in passing, and we're not the only ones looking to build there. The lost ones are there. They have a small space for their own.
His face grows very dour at the mention of the lost ones. A strong sense of betrayal on his features. Absently, he reaches over to his shoulder where there is a long, jagged set of claw marks across the shoulder. And based off of his motion, you can tell that it's a very personal, deep wound that even though it's not still open, he still carries the pain from. You don't talk to Trilly?
Yeah, she fed me before I came up here. I couldn't say no.
Roots on you.
There is so much to learn. There's the leeches have sat there for a decade, and I know they're deeply entwined, more so than they can be in any other city where we're watching them. We can learn so much about their movements, about their strategies while we dismantle them. There's lost talismans in this city. We've just found a few. I know there's more. There's so much history, so much of a story that's been lost to the battle, whatever happened for these cairns to fall. We've learned some of their stories, but there's so much more to learn from that. We have not had a safe haven strong enough to really explore the Umbra yet. We've done a few excursions, a few fights, but that side has to be unlike anything we've seen in a long time. And we need to know what has happened and what will happen when we leave places like this alone.
You sure you're building a home, not digging a grave?
You know what we're called for. If that's what Gaia needs, that's what Gaia needs. But I trust this pack. I trust our conviction for this. It will be a home, and not just for us.
Heard tell there was the spiral down there some time ago. You seen any spiral?
Not yet. Been watching, but we've not run across. I was concerned when we found the cult that some of the kin that we felt might have been, but it's not. I don't know if maybe the leeches took care of that, being unchecked, or if they're in league, but they've not shown their face yet, or anything of that action.
Where does home gonna be at?
It's not downtown, a little outside of the main drag. There's a decent sized memorial park that Grandmother Willow saw fit to let us use as a cairn. It was a cairn before. A Garu, a red talon named Ryder, was at one point attached to this cairn. But there's another space a little further northeast, a park with a lake in it that was once a cairn. That's actually where we slipped through the Umbra as a pack together for the first time. But we're gonna build on the park, the memorial park, with Grandmother Willow's guidance.
For the first time since he's seen the beer, you can see through his scarred, gnarled lips a slight smile at the mention of it being a memorial park that you're seeking to build upon. Bone and ash.
Yes. And the Garu from before are buried there, or were cremated there. Their spirits passed over that space. We had to do some cleaning and eliminate a few banes attached to that anguish and anger. And we've cleaned that out, but that's where the history of this fall will be found. Grandmother Willow saw fit to give some of us some visions of things in the past, and I know she has more to teach as we grow with her.
What are you needing then?
I need numbers. We need 13 for the ritual. There are 6 of us total, but a few of our packs going to be leading the defenses. As you know, this can call in some mess. Each of us have gone our own ways to find friends, mentors, people to call in, but I'll need some people in the ritual. I know Trillium will help with the ritual for sure. I trust you to make your best decision. I know you put up a hell of a fight, but you also know so much on either side. You'd be a blessing if you would see fit to come down. If you do not see fit to come down, maybe talk to a few young ones looking for glory or honor to help us, and anyone from the sept, whoever can help a neighbor out. I do have something to offer in return. I would not see any problem as our theurge. I don't think there'd be any problem convincing the pack to open up a bridge if need be, as a way to get communication across north and south, especially as things grow and as we learn more. We could bring stories back, we can bring lore back, and we can share that knowledge, especially once we learn how the leeches like to move more. We can send that back. That can help defenses up here. Our soon-to-be sept leader is a bit of a lawyer. She actually was able to get us this place as our own. We own this memorial park now as a I don't know, 501 or something. I don't know the numbers, but she got stuff legal, so it's ours. So she plays that game, and that can probably help, especially here with the big companies moving in, trying to buy up our land. I know they've been doing it for a while, and I know they haven't stopped. But that kind of knowledge can help keep us wild here.
The mention of a lawyer, you hear a roiling, rumbling coming from deep within, and then he spits a large loogie down onto the ground. You've been mugging around with suits then?
She hasn't worn a suit in a while. I was real leery at first. She's earned her stripes. She saved us all when we were stuck. Our first quest into the Umbra. I was under. We were in frozen water in the middle of Tampa, and I was going under. And she literally broke down the ceiling of the building to let the moon shine in, and saved our asses. She's earned her place in her leadership, and she does the dirty work that we don't like to do. Someone has to.
Make a charisma and persuasion check, but because you've already made an offer and spoken about it being in a cemetery, I'll give you 2 additional dice to your roll. You didn't bury the lead on that one.
I appreciate the bonus because I was going to see if I could just use a call instead, but this is perfect. I got 3.
He opens what appears to be his 3rd beer and starts drinking it as he considers. He's not chugging as quickly as he had the previous 2, though. The sips are slow and deliberate. And with the can finished, he sets it down, banging it on the table, almost like a gavel, striking on the table. All right, then. And that's all he says. He strides back to the axe, pulling it out of the stump, and begins chopping, not saying another word.
I will finish my beer, grab the empties, toss them out on the way out, leaving the other 2 there for him, and head back. Probably stop, talk to Trillium for a little bit before completely leaving.
Yeah,
then,
making sure to say your goodbyes.
Yeah.
Spend a couple of hours just reminiscing with Trillium.
Make her know the timetable so that she can communicate to Mountain's Claw, and then head back home.
With that, we're going to head to a quick break, about 5 minutes or so, and when we come back, the pack will be reformed to take care of some old, undealt with business in a very final fashion. We'll be back in just a few minutes. See you soon. Welcome back. We hope you had a good break. In the first half, the various members of our pack reached out to their contacts all across the country, from Washington to West Virginia and everywhere in between. Their goal was to seek out and find any assistance that could be had in the building of the cairn in Tampa. A mighty task, to be sure, one that could require a great deal of sacrifice, a great deal of strain. Now that the calls have been made, that deals have been brokered, that arrangements are taking place, the pack finds itself once again together several days later, having made their various calls, having made their case. Aspen, you know that there's some lingering business, something that was forgotten about but has been found again in the form of a leech, a vampire that has remained in a state of torpor within Ryder's storage unit at Greer's for the past several months, ever since the assault on the energy plant. Where are we finding ourselves now, and what are we doing?
So she would have gotten the pack together, had them they talked it out, and she would get Regina, and she would get the tote and get it into the back of Regina, with the help of Artie and Aiden, I'm sure. And then they would go back to Lettuce Lake, just kind of in the area, a little back farther, closer to the water, and they would all convene there.
So we find ourselves in the depths of Lettuce Lake Park, even beyond the campground where the RV has called home for the last almost a year. Here we find the pack assembled around a trunk, almost like a large costuming trunk, but reinforced. A very thick, sturdy box with a large padlock attached to it. What time of day is it when we arrive?
It would probably be early afternoon.
Early afternoon. So the sun is blazing up above, the heat is palpable, and the humidity is out of control, as Florida has experienced record high heats for the past couple of weeks for this time of year. Temperatures spiking in the high 80s during the day and settling into the mid to high 70s even in the depths of evening. It is hot, it is sticky, and it is humid. And from all intentions, it might just get a little bit hotter in this particular area. As you stand on the bank of the lake itself, the cool water allowing a light reprieve in the form of a breeze that occasionally brushes its way over the waters and onto the land. Artie lets out an oof as he drops the case onto the ground with Aiden's assistance. So we're really doing this, huh?
Mm-hmm. As Aspen is also carrying her own small cooler.
Can't say I've ever seen this firsthand, so this will be entertaining, enlightening at least. How was everybody's week? Should we make small talk, or do we just open the case? Like, how do we do this?
Well, I know that Joseph wanted to look on both sides, I believe, to kind of see what that was all about.
Yes, please, and thank you. I was going to make sure that was an option.
Aspen opens up the small cooler that she was carrying, and it's got ice with like beers and energy drinks and sodas in case Aiden only wants soda. And she kind of opens that up, throws a beer over to Jester.
Aiden walks over and reaches into the cooler, grabbing one of the energy drinks, placing a hand on the small of Aspen's back as he leans over and giving a slight scratching to her back. as he gives her a smile and stands up and then starts opening the energy drink. Joseph, you are attempting to gaze beyond to see what might be attached to this individual and to this case that is currently your dormant captor or captive. Go ahead and make the roll.
Okay, I'll be using penumbral senses again. I'm opting to do natural and not use the glasses, so if anyone else wants to use the glasses we found last week, they can. This is an intelligence and wisdom roll, cost me willpower, and my DC is the gauntlet rating.
Okay.
I'm thankful to Aspen for bringing it out here. That's 4 successes.
The transition is smooth and easy. The gauntlet not overtly thick in this particular area. As you blink your eyes, the photo negative of the Umbra coming to cross over the site of the world that you stand in, live in, and breathe in. You can see the Umbra beyond. You can see the lake now about a quarter of the way full, seemingly filled more since the last time you gazed, not just the empty bedrock of the ground below, but now a sizable amount of water, probably 1.5 to 2 feet deep. As you look across, you even see a few fish spirits playfully skittering across the water. Looking over towards the case, it has a very opposite feeling to the joy you feel from looking at the lake, looking at how the Umbra has started to grow and started to repopulate since your last trip. Instead, what you feel is a very sinking pit, a black, dark, deep emptiness, and a rage that seems to be caged, dormant, like a volcano that you're not expecting to explode unless it's given the exact right conditions, but you could see all of the pressure built up within the box. But it seems to be caged, it seems to be locked away and frozen. As your eyes continue to drift over the surrounding park, there are shadows moving amongst the trees. Undefined, very veiled and blurry shadows moving through the trees. But they seem sentient. They seem aware, but ill-defined.
Could I think back to all of my teachings and see if I can figure out what these things are?
Sure.
If they are ghostly like the things on the dock or some other form of spirit?
Give me an intelligence and occult roll.
Umbra specialization good?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I'm really nervous. I'm going to spend a willpower.
Okay.
Roll 3 of them. That was a good spend. That gives me a crit. That is 7 successes with a crit.
These are shades. Not quite wraiths, but shades. They're bound to this place. They have not had the opportunity to cross over into the Shadowlands. Something is keeping them here. Whether it's unresolved business, whether it's something within the location itself, but there's something that has not allowed them to fully make the transition, and they are bound to this place for one reason or another. They're harmless. They might send a chill up your back. They might have, your neck hairs stand on end and give you goose flesh. But they are, for the most part, harmless. Memories, almost, that are transfixed here more than anything else, but they are tragic memories, dark memories.
So they're like the thing that I encountered on the top of the dock,
Correct.
just throughout the woods. Okay,
Correct.
cool.
There's a lot of history in this park, and not all of it's good.
Okay, I'm on the other side. I can definitely tell that thing's wrong. You can see it on the other side, which is good to know. I'll write down later for you all what that looks like in case we're on the other side and see someone like this. I'm most curious to see what happens next. Though it's hidden, is there any way we can keep it in the shade a little bit before the box is like, while the box is like, can we open it slow enough that I can see it directly without looking in the box? Just to save my curiosity, please.
You want to
Of
like
course.
turn the back of it to the sun to the lid gives it?
Yeah, that's a good, yeah, we turn it so that the lid keeps them in shadow just a minute so I can see what it looks like unobstructed, just so I can learn more about their umbral physiology.
Yeah, of course. Aiden and Joseph, you do that. We'll grab camping chairs.
Yeah, I'll do umbral fizz.
Just open the box slowly.
Yeah, he'll go over and turn it so that way the back of it's facing the sun, grab onto the sides. Is it locked?
It does have the padlock attached, but the key is sticking in the padlock.
Sweet. Yeah, he'll get behind it and slowly turn from over top. And you ready?
Take a step back and, yeah,
He'll unlock it, pull the padlock off, and slowly lift up the lid.
Opening the lid, it is deep and dark within the box at first until more of the light starts to filter in. The gnarled, withered features of the Nosferatu that is coiled up in an almost fetal position within the box, the large stake of wood sticking out of its chest, doesn't move, but it stinks. It stinks something awful. Like decay, like rot, like a corpse sitting in a box for months. Even some flies have gathered and go spiraling out of the box itself as they are given access to do so. Through some of the light that comes from the back of the lid, when it shines upon the figure of the leech within the box, the body starts to smoke and sizzle in that one band of light as it makes contact with the physicality of the creature. There isn't as much of an umbral change that you can see, Joseph. There doesn't appear to be anything manifesting or changing so far on the other side. But the body does start the early stages of burning, like a magnifying glass held over an insect, that smoking sensation that starts to appear before the full-on burn sets in. Do you keep opening the box, or are you just letting that stay the way it is?
I'm holding it till Joseph tells me that he's good.
okay, you can keep going.
He'll open it more.
The further the lid opens, the more the smoke starts to billow out of the box. The early stages of a inferno that's about to begin, becoming more and more choking as the smoke starts to lift up to the sky. Eventually, the smoke turns to flame, and the box itself engulfs on the inside to the point that Aiden, you'll have to step back and just drop the lid, allowing the lid to fall open, and this gout of flame starts burning out of the box, reaching up to 2 or 3 feet above the edge of the box's lid. It burns fast, and it burns bright, and it burns quick. The body inside starts to wither rapidly, the flesh burning back and blistering and charcoaling in a very quick manner. The body doesn't move. It can't. This is what being burned alive and paralyzed must look like. The fingers don't twitch. The lips don't curl. The only curling is the flesh burning away from the bones. But even the bones themselves burn, and they burn quickly. The flames lick at the side of the box, leaving scorching on the inside, even scorching some of the lid itself. Everyone has to take a step back from the gout of heat that emerges. Eventually, the flames start to die away. And other than the insides of the box itself that are still on fire, the body dissolves to ash quickly. On the umbral side, Joseph, the darkness shrinks. And once the flames have completely consumed, there is nothing left but a shade. And even the shade starts pulling its way away. And then eventually, it vanishes. Now all that's left is the smoking remains of the box, which is likely going to be of very little use after this, as it was nothing more than a second-hand costume trunk.
So what do we do with the ash? Does that need to be taken care of, or can?
It looks fine on my end. It's just ash now.
Garbage?
Yeah. That went up really crazy.
Yeah, that was bright and hot. That was really cool though. Let's find another one.
I would have brought hot dogs, but I didn't really want the taste of worm in my mouth.
Yeah, same.
That would have went up really fast
I
though.
would have cooked really
Yeah.
quickly.
It reminded me of like those chefs at that Benihana restaurant when they put oil on the grill and it just like flares up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Oh, you'd love it. Although I think you'd probably end up getting really mad when like a shrimp tail got flung at you or something.
Yeah, probably. You start a fight.
Hey, don't throw food.
That's pretty much okay. Never mind. Yeah.
You're supposed to catch it in your mouth. It's a lot of fun, actually.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like pop.
Sure.
So I have some news. I reached out to the Atlanta Cairn, and they are sending down some help. Terrence is coming.
Hey.
mentor.
Hey, cool.
Oh, good.
Interesting note. He's a child of Gaia.
That. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that's surprising to anyone, but yeah, apparently he's been taken in by a theurge of the children of Gaia, and they're starting to teach him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That seems right. That makes sense.
He'll get to meet Trillium.
Really? So you got some help
Yeah.
coming down?
Yeah, I got some help too. My kinseeker, one of my elders from the Ghost Council, have agreed to bring some help down. So I got some people coming, but Terrence meeting Trillium will be worth all the risk, to be honest.
How'd it go for everybody else? I only got maybe 4. Maybe they might bring some Ghislaine, but that's something.
I don't know how many. Duncan did agree. He's going to come down himself. So that's another good fighter that we're going to be able to have on that on the defensive line. I don't know how many he can bring, but he has a lot of sway. He's also going to be bringing a rock, so that way we can connect there to here.
Pathstone?
Yeah, I think I think that's what it was. Yeah, it's a way that if a fallback point was his idea. If things end up not going the way we want them to, at least we'd be able to get far enough away that and a place to recover.
Moon bridges will be helpful. I've mentioned that to the Cairn up north as well. The more moon bridges we get to other cairns, the more support we can get, and the more connected we can be to the nation. So that's really good. It's a great call, Aiden.
I've got at least two coming from Colorado. Gibbous will probably help with the ritual, but Raven will probably help with protection. She's looking for a good fight. They might have more, I'm not sure.
So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. That gives us our 13, but protection.
I have a fair bit of Ghislaine coming to protect all of our borders. And I have Matthias coming, and hopefully a couple others.
Wait,
Cool.
you know a guru named Matthias?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, Artie, you're gonna love him. He's great.
Really?
Yeah. Now wait till he hears about this whole thing.
He's wonderful. He's great.
You're getting really good at sarcasm, Aiden.
He is, isn't
Thank
he?
you.
It's actually that I felt that one in my core.
I've been practicing in the mirror.
Dude, it's so good, buddy.
But we do have protection along our borders while the ritual is happening. So that's not going to be an issue.
So I guess if we have Ghislaine protection, that means Aiden and I and whoever else is also protecting, if there's still extra, will probably be on the Umbra side.
That would be a good call, yeah.
Because we need to fight physically here and the Umbra, right? It's not gonna just all be physical. So we'll need fighters on both sides. Okay.
Yeah, it's unlikely that some of the spirits will, like, not all of the spirits will be able to manifest, so probably need both sides.
I also know that I've been doing some reading that there's some spirits that can control from the Umbra. They don't need to be here to do things. So having people on that side to make sure that Ghislaine don't get subjected or they try to mess with the ritual would be good. Or like subjugation spirits or something.
No, that'll be great. Hopefully, they can get more numbers here because this is what we do know. That's the amount we do know, and whoever else they can convince will be helpful.
I would expect Mountain Claw to probably fight on the Umbral side. He's been around, but he'll know how to do it on that side, so he'll probably help you on that side as well. I think he could probably step over too. He's learned enough of those kind of rituals. He might be able to take a group over.
Duncan will probably be on the physical front of it.
So there's going to be a lot of new people coming down, a lot of new introductions to be had. Some I'm looking forward to more than others now, apparently. I guess that makes this one of the last times for a while that it'll just be the 5 of us. How's everybody feeling about everything?
I feel fine. I'm confident. I think things will go well. I think we have the numbers, and I think we've been preparing for this for as long as we've been together, it feels like. So this is what it's all come to. And I'm confident, and I'm happy to have all of you guys here to do it with.
It's going to be a hell of a mood.
With the right, it's possible that the cult notices too, which means we might have other guru. Did everyone tell their people about the cult?
I told Duncan
Yes.
about it, and he's aware of the situation.
Shit. I can send them a message.
Yeah, it might be worth mentioning because I don't think they're going to be expecting to. I mean, they should expect to possibly fight other Guru as well. I don't know how they're going to feel about another Cairn popping up in what they are trying to claim as their territory.
Even if it is just the 5 that we know about, that's still enough to tip the tides a little bit. That's 5 Guru.
Get an extra keg. We can appease them with some beer.
Speaking of appeasements, my people from Colorado are probably going to want a favor back at some point. They mentioned the possibility that they may need some of us up there sometime in the future. They said they could work it out and speak to you, Aspen. Just her as she's talking, we'll pull out her phone and like text Raven, like, forgot to mention something. Really sorry. COF.
In response, you get a bunch of emojis of the face with the crossed out mouth with all the expletives on it and the angry eyes.
She'll get the like forgive me. She'll send it a forgive me gif.
I was aware that we probably have favors to owe, so it's not out of the realms. I do have favors to owe as well. Matthias is wanting to move his business up here and taking businesses from the leeches and, paperwork, blah, 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 blah. But we'll get into that more, I'm sure, when he's here, and we'll figure out the details of all of that.
I'm good on my end. Duncan, I offered, and he said no.
I think it's important too that we make sure that everybody that shows up is vouched for in one way or another, because it's also possible that the cult tries something sneaky and tries to slip somebody in to our ranks. I mean, we have to be aware of all possibilities. There's going to be a lot of unfamiliar faces coming into town, and it might be important to just make sure everybody's accounted for in one way or another. I don't know if we can start a list or something, but I'll try and create a registry of anybody who checks in so that if somebody shows up day of that we don't recognize, we can keep extra eyes on them. It's going to be a lot of people in one place.
Speaking of which, and with Ghislaine and everything, how can Chloe help? She's not much of a fighter, so being on the line is not the best for her, but she's going to want to help.
Staying alive would be great.
Well,
she
yes.
She can help organize all of the people coming in. Maybe she can manage the list and the registry. I think I'll take a little bit of time and I'll make a bunch of favors, like something for them to wear, to mark them, so we can give them to the people we trust and have them pass them out specifically. That way we can easily see who belongs. And maybe Chloe can help facilitate that.
We also have to keep an eye out for unfamiliar spirits too, because if any of these people bring patrons with them, or they have pacts of any kind, we should keep an eye out for those as well, because you don't want to attack the wrong spirit and piss somebody's patron off, or it's going to be crowded.
It'll be good though. We can get a dossier going of everybody coming in, and if they have a plus one of any kind, we will know about it and we will get a list done. So, and we can pass those out to several of the Ghislaines, the ones coming in, and of course Chloe, and make sure that all happens.
The next question is, are we going to be able to talk any of them into staying maybe a little bit longer than the right? Because there's going to be probably some aftershocks, some remnants for a while, and having numbers, at least more than just us would be good.
I think anybody who knows how the Cairn Building works knows that there's ripples. So I'm sure some of them are already expecting to be here longer than just the ritual itself. But we'll get that out there as well to see who wants to stay at least for a few weeks to help out, and who wants to stay permanently. That would be great. But I know they all have their own lives other places. So
Okay. Then I think we've got our numbers, and I think we're pretty much ready. I am going to work this week to set up some safeguards on the, I guess, Weaver side of things, to try and prevent any unnecessary attention from coming our way. You know, there could be a lot of noise, and we aren't that far from very many residential neighborhoods, so it'd probably be good to have emergency rerouted or diverted somehow. It's going to be a
absolutely.
tight fit because we are really seated in between a lot of neighborhoods and businesses. If we can keep the damage control from spreading outward, that'd be good.
Right. And we can have Chloe write up that there's going to be a private event here, just so it's kind of out there, for a celebration of life or something for a family, so people know not to disturb. See a big group of people are going to be like, what's happening there? So if we can, you know, get that out of the way, that'd be great too. I do want to talk about where we're all going to be during the Cairn Building ritual and bringing in people and everything, because it is going to get very chaotic very quickly once that starts. So we all know that, Joseph, you're going to be Rite Master in all of this. So you're going to be busy on your own right, but you have that all taken care of, and Eliza will be with you for that. So we know where you're going to be. Aiden and Jester, we know that there's going to be a group on the Umbra side and a group on this side. I'd like one of you to be on either side, so taking point for both, so we have eyes everywhere. And that is up to you who wants to be on which side.
Where would you be most comfortable fighting?
I can do either.
And you take Umbra.
Okay.
I think that'll also be very smart, especially if Duncan's going to be on this side. Then being with him, you'll have an ally there. And then we'll have one of Joseph's people on the Umbra side to be with Jester as well, from what it sounds like. One or two, maybe.
Yeah, the other Ghost Council should be comfortable on the other side fighting.
I think it'd be a good idea to keep Aiden and Jester close to the right site, not too far away. I mean, they are invested in the building of this. They're ones who are going to be here regardless, and I think it'd be good for whatever spirits we're channeling into the Umbra to see that they are, you know, connected to this place, because a lot of these people that are coming, you know, while they're doing us a solid, this isn't their home. They're not going to have the same attachment to it that you two have. So I would say standing guard nearby and not necessarily out at the borders like
100%. 100% within where we are, especially to protect Joseph. I want the pack to be as close to each other within the chaos as possible. Which brings me to Artie. Where would you like to be during this?
Wherever you are, that's where I'll be.
Okay, I'll be staying close to the ritual on this side, kind of keeping an eye on everything, going where I'm needed.
I can help with the ritual, but also play lookout. If nobody minds me wearing the shades, I can try and keep an eye on both sides and just see what's happening.
I think that would be perfect. Since Joseph and Eliza's focuses are going to be elsewhere. somebody else being able to take a look on both sides would be really helpful. Okay, yeah.
Assuming their attention's going to be pretty focused. Same with Joseph, so I don't know much of the ritual stuff, but I can at least be lookout and sentry until my part of the ritual is needed or whatever the case is.
Right.
Are we each gonna need to do something for the ritual? Like, do we?
13. We counted on you and Jester to not be part of the 13. Still be close for defense, but those who are part of the actual 13 will have a few little things to do. Nothing crazy, but we need presence there.
Got it. I just wasn't sure
You-
there's something additional that needed to be done as far as like protecting and being the pack that's here to, because you were talking about connection and stuff, so I just want to make sure.
I don't want your attention to be split between several things, especially protecting the inside of the cairn on either side. You guys need to be ready for anything, and being part of the ritual and that would split your attention. And I don't think that's a good idea.
I agree.
Okay. Well, I know we've been through a lot. You know, we started out as strangers, really only connected by this calling. But I think we've come a really long way, and I'm glad that we're all doing this together. You know, I know we have all this help and probably a bunch of big badasses who are all experienced coming in, but we did this. We made this happen. And I'm proud to be one of us. And I'm really glad you guys are here. And I love you guys.
I love you guys too.
Yeah.
Did we have a pack name? We should have a pack name,
We
before
really
everybody
should.
comes in.
Huh.
I guess we never thought of it.
I just called us the pack.
Yeah, not having others, you don't need a name. But
Right.
we're gonna have others.
We're also going to need a sept name, too. I mean, if we're actually starting the whole full-blown sept here, that's a thing.
I say we keep the same sept name that it was before. It holds weight. It has history.
Eliza's kids. No? That's not.
That'll go real good with the nation.
Well, I guess we should probably keep the whole star thing out of it then, too, because, you know, that's their deal.
Oh,
Star
you know,
is
we
us.
have Star, so that one's not so bad. Our patron is named Star, so
I'm gonna keep saying silly ones if you all don't start offering some serious ones here. Like Hogan's Heroes, that's my next offering. No?
no.
I know nothing.
Jester, you've got your whole Galliard fancy literature stick going on. You got anything?
What about the Evening Star pack?
I like it.
I like it.
I
Kind
think we
of
should
pays
call it
homage.
Pack of the Evening Star, not just the Evening Star awkward pause pack.
Yeah.
Okay, just, you know.
I thought I was adding the flavor.
Oh, well.
You don't get to have an opinion, Artie. You said something about Hogan.
Alright, listen.
I'm just kidding. No, I like it. Any objections? Any other suggestions?
I like Pack of the Evening Star.
I like it.
All right. Pack of the Evening Star it is.
In all of your heads, in a soft whisper, as dusk starts to fall, you hear a faint voice say, I like it too.
Good evening, Star.
Morning.
Good morning.
It is getting about that time.
With a name decided, a plan made, reinforcements called, the beacons have been lit, and Tampa has called for aid. And the nation will answer. And that is where we will bring this scene to a close. Across town, in a very, very tall high rise, Edward Bateman sits behind a desk, as he is normally found. He taps on the desk with one finger, tapping lightly, the sound of it echoing throughout the room. He looks towards an individual who he can't see. So what good are you to me now, if you have nothing else to offer? They step forward and slide a photograph onto the desk. The photograph shows Regina pulling in to the Memorial Gardens. Edward picks up the photograph, looks over it, sneers momentarily, but then the sneer turns into a smile. Well, that makes sense. Perhaps you still have some use. Keep following them and find out what you can. He then reaches over to a phone, picks it up, and then reaches over and picks up a business card that says, Miss Smith, Pentex. And he starts to dial. And that is where our scene and our session comes to a close. Thank you so much to these incredible players. Thank you to everybody who's been watching. Next week is the final session of this season of Rage Across Tampa. Will the cairn be built? Will the pack be successful? You'll have to tune in next week to find out. This week, all of our shows are back. Thursday night, we have Don't Get Caught. Friday night, we have What the Hell Is That? Saturday, we have After Dark. And then Sunday, we have Bloody Strings. And then, like I said, next week on Tuesday is the final Rage Across Tampa. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all the social media listed down below. And we will see you next time on Rage Across Tampa. Have a good evening, everyone.